Imagine a philosophy not just surviving for millennia, but actually thriving, adapting, growing, yet somehow holding on to this really profound core essence. You have to wonder, how does something so ancient stay so, vibrantly alive, so relevant in our world today? That's the big question we're really diving into. Our subject for this deep dive is Sanatan Dharma. It's often translated beautifully, I think, as the eternal way.
Yeah.
And right from the start, we want to kind of broaden the perspective here. It's much more than just a religion in the way we usually think of it. It's really an ancient living philosophy, a very rich, complex tapestry of thought, of practice that's just continuously evolved. It's absorbed so much from history, from culture, while keeping its, deep spiritual roots firmly intact. So our mission, really, in this deep dive is to explore those deep roots, understand what's behind its incredible staying power, and figure out why its wisdom still seems to nourish and guide people towards inner peace, yes, but also outer harmony. And our sources, they really make it clear its strength doesn't seem to come from, say, political power or rigid dogma.
No, not at all.
Its resilience, its heartbeat, you could say, lies squarely in this amazing ability to adapt, to absorb, to weave new threads into that ancient fabric without losing itself.
Yeah, and what's truly compelling about Sanatan Dharma, it's almost embedded in the name itself, isn't it? This innate capacity for dynamic resilience. It isn't presented as some static, unchanging rule book. It's framed as an evolving, yet intact philosophy.
That's a great way to put it.
And that very idea, it sets the stage for understanding how it's managed to sustain itself for thousands of years, offering relevant insights to, new generations, changing times. This adaptability is not a weakness. You can argue it's its greatest strength, allowing it to stay vital, accessible across just vast spans of time and cultures.
It's a really powerful distinction, isn't it? I sometimes picture a huge ancient river. It flows through all these changing landscapes, right? Always finds its way, absorbs new streams, gets richer along the journey, but it never loses its fundamental direction, its ultimate destination.
Yeah.
So yeah, get ready to explore a tradition that really does stand apart. We're going to try and unpack this fascinating tradition, see what powerful insights, maybe even surprising ones, we can uncover for you today. Okay, so to really begin this deep dive properly, let's start with the name itself. Sanatan Dharma. It's not just a label, it's a description. It really captures the heart of this philosophy. When you break it down, Sanatan, it speaks to something eternal.
Why?
Timeless. Truths are, unchanging, universal, not bound by fleeting human ideas or specific times.
Right, beyond the transient.
Exactly. And then you have Dharma. Now, this word, it often gets translated as just righteousness or duty, but our sources really emphasize it's much bigger, more nuanced than that. At its deepest level, Dharma seems to refer to the inherent universal order of everything, the cosmos, often called Atta.
Atta, yeah, that cosmic rhythm.
Precisely. It's this underlying principle that governs, everything, from planets moving to the cycles of nature. It ensures harmony, balance. So Dharma, in that big sense, is about aligning yourself with that cosmic order, finding the right way to live that supports, both you and the whole system. But it's also got layers, right? It includes your personal duties, Dharma.
Yes, your unique path.
Yeah, what you specifically are meant to do based on who you are, your circumstances. And then there's Sanatan Dharma, these universal ethics like truth, nonviolence, compassion, things that apply to everyone.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating there, I think, is how the name Sanatan Dharma itself sets up this profound expectation. It points towards enduring fundamental truths. It invites you to pursue alignment with something much, much larger than yourself. It suggests truth isn't something humans invent or that changes with fashion.
Right, it's discovered, not made.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's an inherent timeless pattern in reality itself. So the pursuit of Dharma becomes less about just signing up for a doctrine and more like a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
Understanding and then living according to these universal principles, it pushes you beyond just human constructs towards a deeper connection with, existence itself. It fosters this constant state of discovery, of growth.
So from that really deep foundational idea, we naturally go to where this philosophy first took root, that ancient source, the Vedas. Our sources point directly to the Vedas, the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and the Atharva Veda.
The foundational texts.
Foundational is the word. Imagine this vast ancient library going back thousands of years. The Vedas are like that core section, holding wisdom on just about everything right from the very beginning. And these aren't just religious texts in the narrow way we might think today. They're like comprehensive encyclopedias of ancient knowledge. For instance, the Rig Veda, the oldest one, has these hymns with incredibly sophisticated ideas about cosmology, a deep reverence for nature, almost like early science, asking about the origin of the universe.
Profound questions.
Totally. Then the Ayurveda focuses more on rituals, sacrificial formulas. The Samaveda turns those hymns into melodies, chants, emphasizing sound, rhythm.
The power of vibration.
Yeah. And the Atharva Veda, it gets into more practical stuff, early forms of medicine that became Ayurveda, even insights into social customs, well-being. This incredible breadth right at the start established this really holistic approach to life. It intrinsically linked spiritual understanding with practical knowledge for living, for health, for society. It's just remarkable how much they covered. It suggests a civilization trying to understand and integrate every aspect of life.
Indeed. It wasn't a tradition that started small and then broadened out. And its origins in the Vedas show this amazingly holistic view right from the get-go. The wisdom in these texts, covering everything from, the stars down to human health, it speaks to this understanding that spiritual insight isn't separate from the practical realities of life. Health, nature, society, it's all intertwined.
It really is.
And that comprehensive scope, it really lays the groundwork for a philosophy that tries to integrate the whole human experience, emphasizing that true knowledge covers both the seen and the unseen, the material and the spiritual.
Now, one of the things that really jumps out about Sanatan Dharma, especially if you compare it to other traditions, is how it embraces multiple spiritual paths. It's not this rigid, one-size-fits-all deal where everyone has to climb the same mountain the exact same way.
No, quite the opposite.
Our sources highlight several distinct paths, but they're seen as equally valid. Each one caters to different personalities, different inclinations, maybe different stages of life. It lets people find their own unique way to grow spiritually, but within this shared framework of universal truths. So, for example, you've got bhakti. That's the path of intense, heartfelt devotion.
Love and surrender.
Exactly. Through prayer, chanting, ritual. It's for people whose hearts naturally lean towards love, emotional connection. Then there's jnana. That's the path of rigorous intellectual inquiry, wisdom, deep philosophical understanding, self-questioning, discernment to realize the ultimate truth, more for the contemplative, analytical mind, perhaps.
The path of knowledge.
Right. And karma yoga, the path of selfless action. Doing your duties, serving others, but without being attached to the results. Turning everyday life into a spiritual practice.
Action in the world, but detached.
Yeah. And Raja Yoga, that's the more systematic path, focusing heavily on meditation, breath control, pranayama, and ethical living to quiet the mind and achieve self-realization. And those are just a few main ones, but they show you the range, the sort of menu of approaches available.
And this variety, this diversity in paths, it's more than just tolerance. It speaks to a really deep, quite sophisticated understanding of human psychology, of individual differences.
That's a great point.
It recognizes that the journey towards inner peace, towards truth, can be approached from so many angles. It depends on your unique nature, your spiritual needs at the time. And this flexible approach is incredibly powerful. It always forcing people into molds that just don't fit them. Instead, it allows for this very personalized spiritual evolution.
Which ties back to that adaptability we mentioned earlier.
Exactly. It directly contributes to its resilience over millennia. It ensures the wisdom stays accessible, relevant to this huge spectrum of people. It's about meeting people where they are, not demanding conformity.
So beyond the Vedas, which are foundational, Sanatan Dharma has this incredibly vast body of scriptures, a kind of living library that just keeps offering new layers of understanding. And this is where it gets really interesting, I think, because these aren't just dry philosophical texts locked away somewhere.
Well, yeah, they're vibrant.
Totally. They are stories, epic poems, deep dialogues, rich narratives that bring these ancient ideas to life in ways that are relatable, compelling. Our sources point to key texts like the Upanishads. These are profound philosophical discussions exploring reality, the self, Atman, ultimate truth, Brahman, often seen as the philosophical heart of the Vedas.
The essence, yes.
Then you have the Puranas, these huge collections of myths, genealogies of gods and sages, stories about cosmic cycles. They illustrate ethical principles, the dynamics of Dharma, all through really captivating stories.
Making the abstract concrete.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the Bhagavad Gita, often called the essence of Vedic wisdom itself. It's this amazing philosophical poem set right inside the massive Mahabharata epic, a deep conversation about duty, action, devotion, self-realization, happening on a battlefield, offering practical guidance for living meaningfully even when things are tough.
Amidst conflict and doubt.
Yeah. And of course, the big epics themselves, the Ramayana and Mahabharata, stories of heroes, love, sacrifice, the eternal fight between good and evil. They've shaped the moral imagination for generations. These texts, they're just enormous in scope, offering continuous guidance for all parts of life. They move beyond abstract ideas to show practical application, complex moral choices, human relationships, the path to realization, all through stories and insights that just resonate with the human condition.
Exactly. The sheer volume and the incredible variety of these scriptures show a tradition that has consistently grappled with what it means to be human in all sorts of contexts. They make sure the philosophical ideas aren't just abstract thoughts, but are actively explored through the messiness of human experience, ethical decisions, personal struggles.
Makes it very real.
Very real. And that ensures the wisdom stays accessible, deeply relevant, a continuous source of guidance for the big cosmic questions and the small details of daily living. It's really a testament to a philosophy that aims to touch every single facet of existence, offering models for how to navigate life with wisdom, with integrity.
And speaking of touching every facet of existence, it feels crucial to highlight Sanatan Dharma's really profound reverence for the earth, its deep connection with nature. Our sources consistently point this out. It recognizes divinity in all aspects of the natural world. It fosters this relationship of deep respect, not just utility.
Not just resources to be used.
Exactly. We're talking specific examples here. Major rivers, like the Ganges, revered as sacred goddesses, symbols of purity, life-giving energy. Mountains, like the Himalayas, seen as homes of the divine, places of immense spiritual power.
Sacred geography.
Yeah, plants like tulsi, the holy basil, or trees like the banyan and peepal considered sacred, embodying spiritual qualities. Animals, too, especially cows, revered as symbols of nurturing sustenance. This isn't just poetry or symbolism, it's a fundamental way of seeing the world, where the entire universe is perceived as sacred, as a manifestation of the divine.
A living presence.
Yes, and this view fosters an inherent ecological awareness, a deep gut-level sense of interconnectedness with all life. This was embedded in daily life and thought long before our modern environmental movements kicked off. And for us today, facing ecological crises, this ancient perspective, it offers a potentially transformative shift in how we relate to our environment, moving away from just exploiting it towards reverence, stewardship, mutual thriving. It suggests that harming nature is, in a very real way, harming something divine and ultimately harming ourselves.
And if we really connect that to the bigger picture, this deep integration with nature offers such a vital perspective for our world right now, where our relationship with the environment is, frankly, critical.
That's absolutely critical.
Sanatan Dharma provides this framework where humanity isn't separate from nature or above it. We're an integral part of this divine, interconnected web of life. And that philosophical grounding, it encourages stewardship, reverence, a deep sense of responsibility. It goes beyond just resource management or sustainability as an economic need. It suggests our well-being is fundamentally tied to the planet's health. It provides this powerful ethical basis for looking after our world, one that resonates deeply with the challenges we face and offers a path toward maybe a more harmonious way of being.
Okay, so moving into the enduring power of Sanatan Dharma, maybe its most remarkable feature is this art of adaptation, its ability to survive for millennia without losing its core identity. This isn't some fragile, rigid system that shatters under pressure. It's incredibly resilient, a real testament to its inherent strength.
Definitely.
Our sources detail how it managed to weather huge historical storms that, frankly, reshaped or even wiped out other civilizations and traditions. We're talking centuries of invasions, different external powers coming in.
Major upheavals.
Huge upheavals, periods of colonialism that actively tried to suppress local traditions. And now, the massive, rapid shifts of modern life technology, globalization, how did it survive? Well, it seems it adapted and absorbed change not by just rejecting everything rigidly, but by integrating new ideas, new practices, even external influences into its incredibly vast, flexible framework.
It finds a place for them.
It does. Consider the Bhakti movement. It emerges around the 6th century CE, really flourishes later. It absorbed elements from regional folk traditions, even responded to challenges from other faiths by emphasizing personal devotion, making liberation accessible to everyone, regardless of caste or deep ritual knowledge.
A major internal shift.
A profound internal reform that kept the tradition relevant, inclusive. Or think about periods of intense philosophical debate with, say, Buddhist and Jain traditions. Sanatan Dharma didn't just shut down, it engaged with those ideas. That led to new philosophical schools developing, a deeper articulation of its own principles. It actually strengthened its intellectual foundations rather than weakening them.
Right, it sharpened its own thinking.
Exactly. It's like that river analogy. Again, always flowing, absorbing tributaries, getting richer, but keeping its core direction. This dynamic strength isn't weakness. It's a really sophisticated, living kind of resilience. It makes you wonder, what can modern institutions, or even just us as individuals, learn from that kind of flexibility in the face of constant change?
That adaptability is absolutely a cornerstone of its endurance. It's part of its genius, really. Instead of becoming brittle and just breaking under pressure, Sanatan Dharma has shown this remarkable capacity for creative synthesis, for profound reinterpretation.
Synthesis, that's a good word.
It's not about compromising core values, but about finding new ways to express them, ways that resonate with the changing times, different cultural contexts. This process, this absorption and integration, it's a very sophisticated survival mechanism. It lets it incorporate influences without just being swallowed up by them. It's a powerful example of how tradition can stay deeply rooted in ancient principles while also being open to continuous evolution. That's how it stays relevant, stays vital for new generations.
And part of that enduring power surely lies in what we could call its spiritual technology, these profound practices that have now gained global reach, global recognition. Our sources consistently point to the huge adoption of yogic practices, the incredible benefits of pranayama, that science of breath control and various kinds of meditation, practiced by millions worldwide.
Absolutely. They've gone mainstream in many ways.
They really have. And what's incredible is how these practices, which came from deep within the spiritual framework of Sanatan Dharma, are now recognized and used all over the world as powerful, often empirically validated tools for mental clarity, physical healing, deep self-realization.
Beyond their original context.
Totally. They've transcended that original spiritual context to become universally beneficial. You see them used in Western medicine, in corporate wellness programs for stress reduction, taught in schools for mindfulness, practiced by people from every background imaginable. Accessible, beneficial, anywhere, regardless of culture or belief. Their widespread adoption really speaks volumes about how effective and universal they are. Their benefits aren't tied to a specific dogma. They seem to tap into fundamental aspects of being human, our physiology, our psychology.
Which raises that interesting question, doesn't it? How does a spiritual tradition produce practices that are so universally applicable they become essentially therapeutic tools across totally diverse cultures, even in secular settings?
Yeah, how does that happen?
Well, I think the answer lies in their focus on fundamental human experiences, the breath, the mind, the body, and that intricate connection between them all. These practices, they don't depend on specific doctrines or religious belief. They tap into universal mechanisms, physiological and psychological, for well-being, for stress reduction, for cognitive enhancement.
Things everyone has.
Exactly. Their effectiveness is often directly observable, which has helped them spread globally. They serve as practical tools for navigating modern life, offering calm, focus, profound self-awareness to millions who might never engage with the deeper philosophy they spring from.
Now, one of the qualities of Sanatan Dharma that feels particularly rare, certainly highlighted in our sources, is this harmony and plurality. How it holds multiple gods, multiple philosophies, rituals, all coexisting, even flourishing, without forcing some rigid uniformity, without demanding everyone believe the exact same thing.
That internal diversity is remarkable.
It really is. Think about it for a second. Unlike many traditions that often insist on adherence to one specific deity or prophet or text, Sanatan Dharma fosters this unique kind of internal tolerance, a deep acceptance of varied ways of expressing the divine or truth.
Different facets of the same reality.
Precisely. So some devotees might focus on Vishnu, others on Shiva or Devi or Ganesha, yet they're all typically recognized as different aspects of the one ultimate reality, Brahman. And within its intellectual world, Sanatan Dharma nurtured these diverse philosophical schools, the six darshanas, like Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Samkhya, Yoga, Mimamsa, Vedanta. Each offers a distinct way to understand reality, knowledge, liberation.
Different paths to understanding.
Yeah, each with its own logic, its own metaphysics, yet they're all seen as legitimate lines of inquiry within the broader framework. It's like that analogy you used earlier, a vast, vibrant orchestra.
Right.
Every instrument plays its own melody, follows its own score, but together they create this beautiful, rich, harmonious symphony.
That's a great way to visualize it.
This inherent acceptance of different paths to the divine, to truth, it's truly remarkable. well. And it offers, I think, a compelling model for global dialogue, for understanding in our complex multicultural world. It encourages respect for different views, fosters an environment where unity isn't about forced sameness, but about the harmonious coexistence of diversity.
This internal diversity is really a profound testament to its philosophical depth, and its recognition that ultimate reality is multifaceted, complex. It suggests an understanding that truth is just too vast, too profound to be captured by a single conceptual box or a single name for God. Human beings, with all our diverse temperaments, intellects, spiritual leanings, we're naturally going to grasp and approach that reality in different ways.
Makes sense.
And this isn't just passive tolerance like live and let live. It's an active celebration of different perspectives, recognizing that each path, each deity, each school of thought can offer a unique, valid lens for perceiving and connecting with the infinite. This allows for incredible richness, intellectual dynamism, adaptability, fostering a tradition that can embrace a huge spectrum of spiritual experiences without just fragmenting or falling into conflict.
So, building on that idea of the individual journey through diverse paths, let's talk about the ultimate goal, the ultimate freedom sought in Sanatan Dharma, moksha. Our sources explain moksha not just as salvation in a typical Western religious sense, but as the ultimate aim, freedom. Freedom from the cycle of birth, death, rebirth, known as samsara.
The cycle driven by karma.
Right, the cycle often seen as propelled by karma, the accumulation of actions and their consequences over lifetimes. But what's absolutely key to grasp here, I think, is that this liberation isn't about some external salvation. It's not about being saved by an outside force or a divine judgment.
It's an internal realization.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's achieved primarily through the profound realization of the self, the Atman. In Sanatan Dharma, Atman is the individual soul, the consciousness within, believed to be eternal, pure, and intrinsically one with the universal consciousness, the ultimate reality, Brahman.
Atman is Brahman.
That's the core realization. So moksha is realizing that your individual self isn't actually separate from the ultimate reality. It's shedding the illusions, Maya, that make us feel like isolated individuals, and recognizing our true, boundless, interconnected nature. So moksha isn't just some abstract religious concept or something that happens after death. It's a profound metaphor, really, for psychological and spiritual freedom that you can access right now through deep self-understanding, breaking free from the limitations, the suffering we create through ignorance and attachment. It's a liberation experienced here and now, a deep inner transformation.
And this intense focus on moksha, it really highlights the deeply introspective character of Sanatan Dharma. It prioritizes that internal journey of realization over, say, external rituals just for their own sake.
The inner work.
The inner work. It fundamentally shifts the focus of liberation from something external, a deity, a ritual to the individual's own inner experience and understanding. This empowers the individual. It sets them on a quest for self-knowledge, where true freedom isn't found in collecting external things or experiences, but in shedding illusions and recognizing the timeless, infinite nature of one's own consciousness. It's not passive. It's an active existential quest. It transforms spiritual practice into this deeply personal inner awakening, leading towards a state of profound peace and freedom that transcends the everyday world.
And what about that perceived split between science and spirituality? You know, the idea many of us have today that they're fundamentally opposed. Sanatan Dharma actually offers this remarkable historical model where they seem to bridge those worlds, demonstrating a fascinating balance, often even a synergy, between a rigorous scientific investigation and deep spiritual wisdom.
It challenges that modern dichotomy.
It really does. Our sources cite some truly amazing examples of ancient Indian achievements that grew up right alongside its spiritual traditions, not fighting against them. We're talking about incredibly advanced calculations of planets moving, the Earth's size, long before similar math in the West. Sophisticated metallurgy, think of the rust-resistant Delhi iron pillar, still standing today, a testament to their knowledge of alloys.
Incredible engineering.
Incredible. And medicine. Detailed surgical procedures documented and practiced by figures like Sushruta, often called the father of surgery. His texts describe hundreds of surgical tools, complex operations.
Centuries ago.
Centuries ago. And, of course, groundbreaking maths, the decimal system, the concept of zero, algorithms, things that laid the groundwork for modern computing. So what does all this tell us about ancient wisdom? It clearly wasn't just about chanting or abstract philosophy. It was about understanding the world around them in really deep, practical, systematic ways.
Right.
It profoundly challenges that modern idea of science versus faith. It suggests spiritual insight didn't block, but maybe even coexisted with, perhaps even inspired, rigorous scientific exploration. Seeing the pursuit of knowledge as this holistic thing.
The historical integration is such a crucial point because it effectively dismantles that modern assumption that science and spirituality have to be enemies.
Yeah.
The historical record from Sanatan Dharma shows a culture where seeking truth was holistic. It embraced both looking outwards, empirical observation, and looking inwards, contemplation. Scientific advancements weren't seen as separate from understanding the cosmic order that, in the we mentioned, the divine laws governing the universe. They were part of it,
Two sides of the same coin, maybe?
perhaps. This integrated approach suggests that a deep spiritual worldview can actually fuel intellectual curiosity and rational inquiry. It can enrich both areas rather than limiting them. It offers a powerful counter-narrative to our often fragmented modern thinking, encouraging us to seek knowledge and truth through all the tools we have, inner and outer.
And finally, when we discuss the enduring power, the incredible resilience of Sanatan Dharma, we absolutely have to talk about the role of culture, how pervasive and vibrant it is in keeping this tradition alive. It's not just stuck in ancient books or scriptures, it's a living tradition, embodied, expressed, reinforced through the rhythms of daily life, through communal celebration. This rich cultural scaffolding, it's truly vital for its continued strength and life over millennia.
It's lived day to day.
Exactly. Our sources give countless examples of how culture acts as this dynamic guardian of ancient wisdom. Think about the vibrant festivals Diwali, celebrating light over darkness, knowledge over ignorance. Holi, celebrating spring, joyful unity.
So much color and life.
So much. Then there's the devotional music bhajans, curtains that really stir the soul, expressive classical dance forms like Bharatanatyam or Kathak, diverse food traditions that often connect to spiritual values or seasons, deeply rooted family customs like joint families or specific rites of passage.
The fabric of society.
It is. And these aren't just social events or art forms. They are profound ways of transmitting wisdom, values, philosophical ideas, and a deep sense of community across generations, across geography. They ensure continuity. They fostered this deep sense of belonging, of identity for people all over the world. It vividly shows how seemingly simple, everyday cultural practices can carry deep philosophical weight and contribute massively to the longevity, the living vibrancy of a tradition, making it part of life, not just an idea.
Indeed. Culture here acts as the vital, dynamic medium. It translates abstract philosophical concepts into lived experience.
Brings it down to earth.
It does. It transforms the principles of Sanatan Dharma from just ideas into a tangible reality that people see, hear, taste, feel every day. This cultural embodiment provides this constant organic reinforcement of values and beliefs. It creates a strong yet flexible framework that lets the tradition adapt to new places, new challenges, while still holding on to its fundamental identity. It's a powerful reminder that wisdom isn't just transmitted through books or lectures. It's passed on just as profoundly through shared rhythms, rituals, art, the stuff of everyday life and celebration. This deeply embedded cultural aspect is proof of its living, breathing nature.
Well, after exploring its deep roots, its enduring power, why does all this ancient wisdom still resonate so much today, maybe even more than ever?
Well, a huge part of it, I think, must be the universal threads woven throughout Sanatan Dharma, these fundamental values that go beyond its specific cultural origins and just speak to all of us as humans. They tap into something fundamental.
They really do. Our sources powerfully highlight these core universal values. There's such a truth, not just facts, but truthfulness in thought, word, action, a commitment to reality. Then ahimsa, nonviolence, and this goes beyond just physical harm, right? It includes non-harming in thought, in speech, fostering active compassion for all beings.
A very broad understanding of non-harm.
Very broad. Karuna, deep compassion, empathy, recognizing suffering in others and feeling moved to help alleviate it. And dharma, again, but here meaning righteous action, living in line with what's right, doing your duties, contributing positively to the world around you, both cosmic and social.
Living ethically.
Exactly. These aren't just abstract concepts. They feel like truly universal principles, things we can all recognize, aspire to, trying to live by no matter where we're from or what we believe. They seem foundational for human flourishing, offering timeless guidance for navigating our complex, often messy modern world. They speak to that innate human desire for justice, peace, connection.
These values are indeed fundamental to ethical living, to social harmony. And they resonate across cultures and belief systems precisely because they address universal human needs, peace, justice, integrity, connection.
They feel timeless.
They do. They provide a moral compass that stays relevant regardless of technological change or shifting societies. The consistent emphasis on truth, nonviolence, compassion, righteous action. It lays this really robust ethical foundation that supports both individual integrity and collective well-being. It underlines that, at its core, Sanat Dharma offers a practical path to a more harmonious, meaningful life for anyone, transcending specific doctrines and speaking to our shared humanity.
And, in our modern world, that often feels so fragmented, so siloed. We separate work from personal life, physical health from mental or spiritual health. Sanatan Dharma offers this powerful counterpoint through its inherent focus on holistic well-being. It really contrasts sharply with our modern tendency to chop human experience into little isolated boxes.
Compartmentalization, yeah.
Exactly. Instead, this ancient wisdom fundamentally treats physical, mental, and spiritual health as inseparable. They're interconnected parts of one integrated whole. Our sources explain how this holistic view offers a crucial alternative to those siloed approaches to health. It promotes a more integrated, sustainable, and ultimately more fulfilling way of life.
The whole person.
The whole person. Think about yoga practice, for example. It's not just about the physical poses, is it? It's about the breath work that calms the mind, the meditation that builds mental clarity, the ethical principles that guide towards spiritual peace. It's all connected. This ancient approach offers incredibly valuable insights for tackling so many modern problems: chronic stress, that feeling of disconnection from ourselves or community, the widespread search for meaning and purpose. By treating the whole person, mind, body, spirit, as this interconnected, dynamic system, it provides a powerful framework for cultivating real, lasting well-being that goes way beyond just fixing symptoms.
Which raises that important question again. In a world so prone to fragmentation, to specialization, what can we genuinely learn from a system that inherently sees mind, body, and spirit as indivisible?
Right. What's the takeaway?
The inherent unity that Sanatan Dharma proposes encourages a kind of self-care model that aims for deep, systemic balance, nourishing every part of a person, not just managing surface issues. It invites individuals to explore how deeply interconnected their inner states and outer actions are, offering a path not just to managing sickness, but to cultivating a profound sense of inner peace, coherence, purpose. And this integrated view is becoming increasingly relevant, isn't it? As modern science, through fields like, say, psychoneuroimmunology, starts to map out the undeniable links between our mental state, our physical health, even our spiritual outlook. The ancients seem to understand this intuitively.
Okay, let's unpack this next point because it feels really liberating. One of the most distinctive aspects of Sanatan Dharma is its emphasis on the path of personal discovery. Through deep self-inquiry, it actively encourages questioning, reasoning, using your own personal experience as the ultimate judge of truth, rather than just demanding blind faith or strict adherence to some external authority.
It empowers the individual seeker.
It really does. This isn't about just being told what to believe and accepting it passively. It's an invitation. Find out for yourself, experience it, test it, understand it directly. This approach fosters genuine critical thinking, individual exploration. It makes the journey of understanding active, dynamic, deeply personal. Concepts like vichara, self-inquiry, are central, constantly examining your own thoughts, beliefs, perceptions.
Question everything, in a sense.
In a constructive way, yeah. It promotes real intellectual curiosity. It allows each person to engage with the philosophy, test its ideas against their own life, and arrive at their own conclusions through direct realization, not just borrowed belief. That feels like a tremendous strength, especially for anyone seeking genuine knowledge and truth. It makes the wisdom truly yours, not just something you've been told. It keeps the philosophy alive and personally transformative for each generation.
This profound encouragement of self-inquiry is absolutely a distinguishing feature. It effectively makes Sanatan Dharma a kind of living philosophical laboratory for the individual.
I like that laboratory.
It frees the seeker from relying solely on external authority as the final word on truth. It empowers them to cultivate their own direct perception, their own understanding. This intellectual freedom allows for a continuous refinement of understanding, where truth isn't some fixed dogma handed down, but an ongoing process of discovery, of revelation, through personal experience and reasoned thinking. It ensures the philosophy stays vibrant, personally relevant, and endlessly transformative, because each generation is invited to rediscover and revalidate its timeless truths through their own lives, their own inquiry.
And finally, maybe the most compelling reason this wisdom still hits home so powerfully today is that it's not just theory, it's truly living wisdom. It isn't just locked away in ancient books or studied in universities. It's actively practiced daily in countless ways by millions all over the world. It weaves itself into the actual fabric of life.
Embodied practice.
Exactly. Our sources give clear, vibrant examples of this daily integration, from, the quiet simplicity of morning rituals or daily prayers in homes,
Mhm.
to the huge global practice of yoga and meditation that we've talked about, and the ongoing engagement in seva, selfless community service, action done without expecting personal gain.
Contributing to the community.
Right. These aren't just occasional things people do. They're woven into the rhythm of daily life. They embody the philosophy's principles in very practical, accessible ways. This constant daily integration makes the philosophy a living, breathing part of life for millions, not just an abstract idea or a historical artifact. And this continuous practice ensures it stays relevant, stays vital. It shows that this ancient wisdom is meant to be lived, not just studied. Its real power lies in its application and its embodiment.
In essence, yeah, that emphasizes that the profound power of Sanatan Dharma comes from this combination.
Hmm.
Its timeless wisdom, its remarkably flexible inclusivity, and its focus on inner transformative practices that are meant to be lived out. It doesn't just tell you what to believe, it shows you how to live in harmony with yourself, with society, with the cosmos itself.
That's a beautiful summary.
Its continued vitality really stems from its unique ability to offer this coherent, integrated approach to life. One that empowers individuals to seek deep truth through their own exploration, supported by this rich tapestry of cultural expression and universal values.
Hmm.
It's a philosophy that seems to breathe and evolve right along with humanity.
Wow. What an incredible journey we've taken today, really diving deep into Sanat Dharma. We've looked at its profound roots, those eternal principles of Sanat and Dharma. We traced its origins to the holistic wisdom in the Vedas, explored that vast living library of scriptures. We've seen its amazing dynamic adaptability over thousands of years, its gift of universally helpful spiritual technologies like yoga and meditation to the whole world, and its unique way of fostering unity within huge diversity, embracing multiple paths, multiple perspectives.
A lot covered.
A lot. We also touched on its ultimate goal, that inner freedom, moksha, through realizing the self. Its historical balance of rigorous science and deep spirituality, and how vibrant cultural traditions work tirelessly to keep it alive and kicking. And ultimately, we've explored why this ancient wisdom still resonates so powerfully today. It offers universal values that speak to all of us, a truly holistic approach to well-being for the whole person, a liberating path of deep self-inquiry, and a living, breathing philosophy designed to guide us not just in theory, but in daily life. It really offers this comprehensive, adaptable framework for trying to live in harmony in a world that's always changing.
So as you reflect on this deep dive, maybe consider this. How embracing a path of self-inquiry and actively trying to align with universal values, truths like compassion, nonviolence, truthfulness, regardless of where they originate, how might that fundamentally transform not just your own individual life, but also your relationship with your community and maybe even with the wider cosmos? The journey towards inner harmony, towards profound understanding. It is, after all, a deeply personal one. It's ongoing, and it's open to absolutely everyone who seeks it.
Absolutely. A powerful thought to leave with. We really encourage you to reflect on how these profound principles might resonate with your own search for meaning, for harmony in your life. Thank you so much for joining us on this fascinating deep dive. We look forward to exploring more with you next time on the Deep Dive.